Hello and welcome to Short Points, where we are short in more than one way today. We ran out of pre-recorded videos done before the COVID-19 mandated isolations, and here I am today recording alone without Tsetso, but hoping that things will ease up soon enough and that he will rejoin me in one of the upcoming weeks. By Scripture alone, sola scriptura. We are continuing the study on how to interpret Scripture, and so far we looked at different angles and topics, but the repeated theme was that in the Bible itself we have everything that we need to properly understand it. This belief and principle is usually referred to as by Scripture alone, in Latin sola scriptura. Now, not all Christians accept this principle. Roman Catholics and Eastern Orthodox theologians, for example, emphasize on tradition and Scripture. By Scripture alone is the theme of the Protestant Reformation that revolted against many errors imposed to the Church by false teachings that contradicted the unified biblical message. Here are the main points that the lesson goes through. Scripture as the ruling norm, the unity of the Scripture, the clarity of the Scripture. Scripture interprets Scripture, and something interesting at the end, sola scriptura and Ellen White. The first point is about Scripture as the ruling norm. While studying, we use all kinds of resources: archaeology, history, math, all science. And as mentioned last week, also we're influenced by culture, tradition, experience, etc. But the ruling norm is Scripture. This is the base, and everything else is enriching, but has to conform, not to guide the interpretation. Unity of Scripture. It's written through many years by many people in different places and cultures, but the authorship and the inspiration behind it is the same. It's from one source. It's from God, and it's unified. Now, this is very important to understand, because without such consensus, we will never be on the same page. There will be no way to say what is right and what is wrong. We can't let Scripture interpret itself if there is no unity in the message. We can't just pick certain passages from Scripture and ignore others. If something that we believe makes sense with certain parts of Scripture but not with others, we can't just ignore these parts. We have to take a step back and look for what we are missing. Clarity of Scripture. The messages in the Bible are not encrypted to make them difficult to understand, even though sometimes it can feel this way. They don't require a special degree in order to decipher them. The messages are clear. This doesn't mean that you should take whatever first comes to your mind when you read a certain passage. You should be diligent, study, compare what you read with other places in the Bible talking about the same issue. The messages are deep, but clear enough for everyone to understand. You don't have to accept someone else's authority on the matter. Study for yourself. Scripture interprets Scripture. We mentioned this already. Because of the unity of the message, we can find clues and directions on how to understand certain things by following the line and the message in the entirety of the Bible. Now, at the end, there is an interesting and important point for us as Adventists. We cherish a special person through which God spoke and led the early Adventist movement, Ellen White. Unfortunately, sometimes we can go a bit too far and put her and her writings at the same level as the Bible, and sometimes use her writings as the prism through which to understand the Bible. Now, this is very dangerous and incorrect. Yes, her messages are enriching and very valuable. Jesus said about John the Baptist that there was no greater human being than him. Even though we don't see a book in the Bible written by him, this doesn't mean that his work and his messages from God are not important. The same way, rejecting what God had to say through Ellen White is not right. But her writings have to be looked at through the prism of the Bible and not the other way around. I hope that this makes some sense to you and that it can be enriching for your personal study. The study will continue next week with the topic, why is interpretation needed?